mortgage is far beyond our expectation.
It's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on another episode of Everyone Deserves a Home, the program that keeps you up to date with happenings in and around the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. I am Kauthar Anumba Halil. Comaco Cooperative Society is one of the cooperative societies that is benefiting from the FMBN's Cooperative Housing Development Loan. The beauty of this product is that it allows for beneficiaries to develop their houses to suit their preferences. In this episode, we shall be looking at details of this project in Lagos State. Later on, we will hear the story of one of our beneficiaries who has the burden of rent lifted off of him and is now living happily in his own home, thanks to the NHF scheme. These and more when the program commences fully after the break. Don't go away.
I am Tima Nelayo, Group Head, Corporate Communications, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. This week, 3rd to 7th October, is our Customer Service Week, which is usually observed every year in order to appreciate and celebrate our frontline workers and dedicated staff, as well as you, our esteemed customers, who come to take service from us. We at Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria welcome you specially to our Customer Service Week. Happy Customer Service Week.
Welcome back. As always, we will open the episode with highlights of major events that happened at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. In our lineup, House Committee on Housing and Habitat visits FMBN, and FMBN sensitizes NUJ on the Cooperative Housing Development product. Details coming up shortly in our weekly news diary. Keep watching.
Members of the House of Representatives Committee on Housing and Habitat recently paid a visit to the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria as part of its oversight function. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Mustapha Baladawaki, who led the committee on the visit, said that the committee has a responsibility to ensure that the implementation of the bank's policies are on course.
We know that members of the parliament are supposed to make laws, also to make appropriations, and also to do oversight. This is one of the functions of the National Assembly. It is on this note that today we came to oversight what the management of the Federal Bank of Nigeria has been presenting to us on paper. So we need to see. We need to see the various line items that were presented before the committee and to see the implementation, the percentage of implementation, also to see the structures, if they involve buildings or renovations or whatever. We need to see to ensure that, yes, the Federal Mortgage Bank is on course. There are no derail on what they have presented to us.
Welcoming the delegation, the Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Maduhamman, highlighted the activities of the bank, especially in recent times.
In terms of strategic issues that the new management have tried to put in place is for us to improve and the mobilization of towards the National Housing Fund scheme. So we've deployed a lot of sensitization teams across all the states. Another area the bank is focusing on is automation of our business process, which is currently ongoing. As we came in, we met this process already ongoing, the implementation of the core banking application for the bank, which is supposed to provide central data for all units of the bank.
He, however, noted the need for the recapitalization of the bank's liquidity, amongst other issues, that requires the intervention of the National Assembly.
Out of the total authorized capital of the bank, which is supposed to be 5 billion, only 2.56 billion has been paid up. So Federal Mortgage Bank has been operating all these years with a share capital of 2.56 billion. if we are to go by our regulators' capital requirements, this qualifies Federal Mortgage Bank to operate as a state primary mortgage bank. That's the level of capitalization the bank has is equivalent to that of primary mortgage banks operating in 2 states only. Primary mortgage banks that operate at national level have to pay up 5 billion minimum capital. So Federal Mortgage Bank is highly undercapitalized, but it has been performing its functions with the current capital.
If you have a provision to buy.
A questions and answers session followed the presentation, shortly after which the meeting went into an executive session. Committee members later toured the bank's facilities. Chairman of the committee, in an interview afterwards, stated that the committee has given the bank approval to renovate its building.
We're here giving you the approval to embark on this renovation very quickly, very soon, because we are coming back maybe in a couple of months to come and see the kind of repair that we have done.
Considering the prevailing economic reality in the country.
The Nigerian Union of Journalists Abuja chapter has called on the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, among other government agencies and private sectors, to join hands with the union in providing affordable housing for its members. The call was made during a one-day conference on Housing Development Advocacy Network in Abuja, themed Housing for All, the Role of Cooperative Societies and Financial Institutions. Chairman, NUJ Correspondence Chapel FCT, Comrade Jide Oyekule, in his welcome address, urged the government to come up with special programs exclusive to journalists to lessen the conditions associated with assessing loans so as to enable journalists own homes.
We understand that one of the challenges affecting housing delivery in Nigeria is the level of housing shortages and has not been adequately presented. This is as a result of inadequate and inappropriate statistics and data by the manager of housing in Nigeria. We are using this occasion to call on the Nigerian government to come up with a special program of action exclusive for Nigerian journalists that will lessen the stringent condition associated with assessing loans to enable them build houses of their own.
Representing the Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Group Head Special Products Lawal Isa Kofar Saudi, in a keynote address, highlighted the need for the union to leverage on the Cooperative Housing Development Loan to deliver houses for members of the union. Isa gave a rundown of some of the requirements for the union in order to access the loan.
The bank decided to expand the scope by involving cooperative societies and cooperatives who can apply for the Cooperative Housing Development Loan as well as the Cooperative National Housing Loan. The Cooperative Housing Development Loan is the supply aspect where the cooperative can apply for funding to build houses for their members, while the Cooperative National Housing Loan is for the demand side, where members, after those houses have been completed, then they can apply individually so that they can own those houses, and then the cooperative society can exit. The bank took this decision considering the huge potentials in leveraging on cooperative society to deliver on its mandate to contributors of the National Housing Fund and increasing the housing stock.
Other speakers and stakeholders at the event promised to partner with the union in making affordable housing available for them.
Family Homes Funds will be willing to partner with you. We're doing that in several other states, so we've formed some form of partnership with the Cooperative Mortgage Bank of Nigeria.
A cooperative society was inaugurated at the end of the conference for the NUJ FCT Council.
You're still watching Everyone Deserves a Home. Talking about cooperatives benefiting from the National Housing Fund scheme, we'll be looking at another project the FMBN is funding for Comaco Cooperative under the Cooperative Housing Development Loan in Lagos State. Let's have details of this project in our Building Blocks segment coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
Sitting on an expanse of 50 hectares of land in Shango Tedo, Lekki, Lagos State is a mass housing project that the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is jointly funding. The FMBN is funding a 28-unit housing project for Comaco Cooperative, which is being developed by Cocoon Homes. The project, which started in January 2020, comprises of 2 and 3 bedroom terraces. It is already at 90% completion stage.
This project, call it Cocoon Cooperative. The cooperative obtained a cooperative development loan from Federal Mortgage Bank to build 28 units of 3-bedroom flats. So allocate to their cooperative members who are contributors to the National Housing Fund.
While the project is ongoing, infrastructure development is also ongoing. This is to allow subscribers to occupy completed units while work on the other units goes on.
We have infrastructural arrangements around the building so that whilst we are attending to other blocks yet to be built, the ones that are ready to move in can enjoy the facility without the disturbance of our construction.
A total of 319.794 million naira was approved for the project. Currently, 3 tranches have already been disbursed, totaling 269.315 million naira. This covers 80% of the building costs and 70% of the cost of infrastructure. The project manager tells us the current stage of work on the project.
We're about 90% complete because essentially the building itself, that's the 28 units apartment, is fully finished. We've tested and commissioned the fittings and the pipes. It's been cleaned, post-construction done. So as you can see, we're currently laying the interlocking paving stones, and then we've channeled our surface water out, and then we've provided the sewage treatment solution, which are underneath, where strategically located around the building. So we have pumps in them to pump effluents and without disturbing the ecosystem. Also, we have water treatments plants provided for the building so that off-takers can come in and enjoy water and light. So right now, as part of the infrastructure development, we are about to commence the electrification. That's bringing in the 33 kVA lights. We have our transformer there, step-down transformer. We have a generator from Mikano to power. And so what we have left essentially is the cabling to power this equipment. Once that is done, we've done all the underground piping. Once that is done and we lay our interlock, we're about done.
As a way of employment generation, the developer engages the locals within the host community.
You can see food vendors around, and then you can see workmen. We try to make sure that in getting our manual labors done, we engage the community to carry out these labor works, civil works, clearing, and except in specialist case, that's when we go outside the community.
At various stages of the work, the FMBN goes on a routine visit to check and monitor the quality of work being done on the project.
FMBN has appointed external consultants that works with the branch office to supervise the project, make sure they meet the quality agreed upon. Apart from that, the Lagos State Building Agency, they come here to supervise. Level to level, they must get approval before moving to another level.
The developer also engages external consultants to ensure that the developer maintains quality while delivering the project.
So we understand that the fluctuation around, but even at that, we've tried to manage our resources to ensure that we deliver what we promised. And then we've kept to standards, and we've invited on several occasions the rights authority, LAFSCA, when we are casting our concrete, to come and check our reinforcement, the structure before we go ahead. They give us go-aheads before we cast. Also, we've done proper concrete testing, iron bar testing, to ensure that we have actually not gone outside the specification of the consultant designer. We've made sure that we've stayed within what we have been specified in our design, what we've specified in our design. Yes, it's been a bit difficult, judging by the economy, to strike a balance, but however, we still manage to do so, because essentially for us, it's about the product.
I am Tima Nelayo, Group Head, Corporate Communications, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. This week, 3rd to 7th October, is our Customer Service Week, which is usually observed every year in order to appreciate and celebrate our frontline workers and dedicated staff, as well as you, our esteemed customers, who come to take service from us. We at Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria welcome you specially to our Customer Service Week. Happy Customer Service Week.
Thanks for staying with us. It's now time to share the story of another beneficiary of the National Housing Fund scheme. Keep watching.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Barrister Tola Olorunfumi is a private legal practitioner in Abuja. He is the owner of this 3-bedroom flat at Apsi Estate in Kuje area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. As a legal practitioner, he is very much aware that the benefits inherent in the National Housing Fund scheme are for all Nigerians in both public and private sectors.
The process is simple. I register with Federal Mortgage Bank in FCT, where I was contributing. I think I contributed for about 6 months or thereabout, and I'm still contributing monthly basis. Then I got my apartment through FHA developed property buildings. So that's how I got it.
Barrister Tola had dreamt of having a property of his own while he was in a rented apartment. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria made his dream come true.
Everything is a matter of, it's a stage by stage. I was a tenant. It's a stage of my life. Now, I'm also privileged to own a property. It's another stage. But between the two, one is better than the other. There is conveniency, there is peace of mind, there is no azu, The only challenge is that it's paying what is repaying my mortgage loan, which is also spread over a year. There's confidence in the repayment.
For his wife, the era of being threatened by landlords is over.
When we are in tenant house, maybe 2 months before our money dues, and the landlord will be calling. You know, this is the time your money will due. My husband will tell you that, and when we get to bridge, we shall cross. So at least nobody can come and say your money will due. You did this and this, and that. No. Yeah, nobody can question you when you do anything the way you like.
For Barrister Tola, he will remain ever grateful to Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria that has made him a home owner in a city like Abuja.
We thank the Federal Mortgage Bank for the policy in ensuring houses for Nigerians. Yes, they are doing well that, but they need to do more in terms of, advocacy for people to be aware more, particularly those in the private sector.
Barrister Tola, who has tasted the benefits of the National Housing Fund, has a message for other Nigerians who are yet to benefit or join the scheme.
My message to Nigerians is that the federal, from my own experience, which it is also in tandem with the position of the law as it is now, private individual can take part in, federal mortgage loan, and they should ensure to take part. That's one of the national benefits to use housing. So people should participate more.
Our question for the week is, why should I consider owning a home through mortgage?
When you look at it worldwide and also in Nigeria, the issue of mortgage is tailored around the vast majority of the population, which are working population, most of whom during their working life have earnings and savings. Most of these earnings and savings may not be sufficient for them to buy a property outright for them to live in. So the mortgage option is always there to be able to assist individuals that can be able to access a house and pay for it gradually throughout their working life. So the way the mortgage arrangement in Federal Mortgage Bank is up to 30 years. So once one begins to start a job or starts his career or his business, he is eligible, as long as he's a contributor of the National Housing Fund, he is able to access a mortgage where he would be paying from his salary every month.
And on this note, we bring to an end this episode of the program. Don't forget to make a date with us again, same time, same station, for another exciting edition. Do well to stop by at any FMBN branch office near you or visit its website on www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information. And if you're already an NHF contributor, you can check the status of your contributions by simply dialing *219#. Remember, everyone truly deserves a home. See you next week.